Welcome to the Candle Business Coach podcast. I'm your host, Kirsty Allen, and I am the Candle Business Coach. I'm also a mum of three and a kindness advocator. This podcast is all about making and selling candles, business development, and mindset, delivered to you with advice, inspiration, and motivation in a new episode every Friday. This episode is brought to you by the membership for candle makers, the Candle Makers Collective. Becoming a member gives you access to fortnightly online group Q&A coaching sessions to support you, monthly online workshops and trainings to help you grow your business, plus frequent expert guest speakers to inspire and teach you. You'll also have access to an ever-growing resource library with templates, guides, planners, and ebooks. But my favorite aspect of the membership is our exclusive Facebook group for accountability, connection, and support. So if you're looking to take your candle business to the next level and learn more about the membership for candle makers, click the link in the show notes for the Candle Makers Collective. Welcome back to the podcast, my friend. Today we have a very special episode because we're chatting with someone who we spoke with over a year ago, and we captured the beginning of SADE'S journey when she had just the idea of starting a candle business. And if you remember, for those of you playing along, I put a shout out to you, the listeners, to say if anyone wants to have their journey captured in 2 episodes, one at the beginning of their journey and then another one when they were 12 months in, that would be what we would do. And that is what the beautiful Sade volunteered for. So I will throw the mic over to Sade and say, hello, welcome back, and just let us know everything. Where are you up to in your journey? What's your business called, and how's everything going for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been definitely a journey, that's for sure. I don't think I mentioned the name last time, but yeah, the name is Hope Creations Candle Co. That has not changed. That's been the name.
It's a beautiful name, but I'd love to know what it means to you and how you came to that decision.
Yeah, so I was kind of just playing around with words and my daughter's name. I'm a mom, and my daughter, she's 5 years old. Her name is Lily Hope, so I used her middle name. And yeah, I just kind of went based on that. I was just kind of playing around with words, and yeah, I just ended with Candle Co. So it just kind of made sense.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love it when I speak to candle makers that incorporate something that's so personal and so important into the name of their business, because I feel like it gives you that anchor of, if I'm going to make this business work, and you are going to make this business work, you're doing it for someone and for something more than just yourself. It becomes part of your family's story. It becomes part of your family's journey. And I think when we have such a beautiful name for our business, it helps keep us on track and it helps keep us motivated as well.
Oh, definitely. I mean, my screensaver is my logo. So whenever I'm having a bad day or I'm like going through it, I just look at it and it just reminds me, I mean, like, this is really what I'm doing it for. And yeah, and it's personal. So every time I see it, it's gonna hit home for me.
Exactly,
For sure.
exactly. So, in terms of where you were at in your candle making journey, when we first spoke over a year ago, gosh, it's just wild how fast that time has gone past. You had the idea of having a business, you had bought a kit, but hadn't yet made your first candle. And obviously, there's such a process involved. There's finding the right wicks, there's choosing the fragrance oils, there's the testing phase, the making the labels, the website, all of the things. In terms of the actual making of the candles and the supplies, what is it like for you at the moment? What are you up to?
I went through so many, I mean, I wouldn't say so many ideas because I had an original idea and then I changed that and I wanted to start something new. I did mention it to you. I don't know if you remember, I mentioned it to you in messages, like when you asked me for an update, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing cement candles now. Like I went from glass to cement. So I was doing that for a little bit for a few months and I really did enjoy that. But because of my living situation, it just really wasn't working out. Like I feel like with those kind of materials, you really do need the space, especially to like dispose of it. Because I couldn't put it in the drain because we rent. So like I wouldn't want to mess up the drain or anything with the cement. So I noticed even outside where I would rinse out my bowls for the cement, like I noticed there was like even like a stain for me. So I was like, okay, yeah, I can't do this. So I was like, I had to set that idea to the side and go back to my original idea. But everything kind of fell into place. Like the jar that I decided, I found a lid, a customized lid. I found a small business to make the customized lid with my logo. So everything kind of fell into place. So currently, the wicks that I need, they're out of stock. So I did reach out to the company, which I recommend, and they did tell me that they would be in stock about mid-April. So currently my production is on pause, but just for now. So that's currently where I'm at.
Yeah, no, and look,
Yeah.
and to be honest, that's the same situation in Australia as well. Like we're having issues with different suppliers, with various suppliers, and it can become so disheartening and so frustrating that you know when you're feeling creative and you're feeling like you want to make your candles, or you want to test a new product, or you want to just get into the lab and start making, and you can't get the supplies to be able to do it can be really frustrating. So I can appreciate that that's what you're experiencing. In terms of your actual candles, have you made and tested, and are you happy with the testing process?
So it's so funny because like I guess I just got so excited and I thought I found the correct way. And I thought I even like gave some candles away to friends and family, and they even tested it, and I got great reactions and feedback from it. But I remember I was just like looking at my candle one day, and I was just like the peak. It just wasn't. I wasn't happy with it. It looked like the fire was a little wild. I was like, hold on, this doesn't look safe. I have to check this. Like it's as simple as I just had to go down a wick size, but that alone halted everything. So
There are so many variables when it comes to making candles. Like the wick itself is a journey. There are different types of wicks. There are different sizes. There's wood and there's cotton, and there's so many different elements and variables that we can play with to make, as you say, the safest candle possible. But then when you add in the fragrance oil, you choose the type of wax, you choose the size of the vessel. Every little change that you make needs to be retested, needs to be checked. And
yeah.
when your goal, and it should be every candle maker's goal, when your goal is to make the safest candle that you can possibly make and make it safe for use so people can enjoy your candles, as you say, when you notice something that's not quite right, it's not a matter of saying, oh, it'll be right, it's just that one candle, I'll continue down using the same materials and not change anything. We have to be so
Yeah.
careful that we're making the best choices for our business, not just with wicks, but with every aspect of our business. So changing the wick size and making the candle safe is definitely priority number one. So you're doing the right thing, which is so exciting and reassuring to know, because you're 1 year into the journey, and that doesn't necessarily mean that, there's no, what am I trying to say? Like everyone's journey is so different. And so you could be 6 months into your journey, you could be 1 year, you could be 2 years down the track, and everyone's going to be at different stages and different phases. But where you are now is a reflection of the work that you've put in over the last 12 months. And yeah, I'm so excited to chat with you and so proud of you for continuing your journey and prioritizing your business, because some of the candle makers I've had on the podcast are no longer making candles anymore. And it's such a sad reality. And, the reasons behind that are quite varied. But I'm just so excited that you're still doing it. You're still in the game. You're still wanting to create this business for you and your family. And though there are challenges, that's not deterring you from staying the course. So I'm just so excited to chat with you today.
I mean, challenges. I remember like I think it was maybe a week after we recorded our first episode last year. It had to be like not even 2 weeks. My daughter ended up getting really sick and we were in the hospital. Long story short, it ended up being like a whole month in the hospital. And I just remember like I was like on this hill and I was like up here. And then I just remember we were in the hospital. Like it was just a lot. Like, and I was still trying to process, like, I'm still gonna do this, like it's still gonna happen, like no matter what. Like I may use all my savings because I can't work because I'm in the hospital with my daughter for I think it was like 4 to 6 weeks. But after that happened, I still in my mind I'm like I'm still gonna do this. Like it's still gonna happen. Like I remember I was in the hospital. Like I was in obviously like it was a lot, but when I could have my moments, like I was on my computer and I was still just like researching or doing like anything that I could to kind of keep it alive. But after that, even after we left the hospital, like a week later, I ended up getting in a car accident,
Oh
and
no.
that was actually probably tougher because it took me a while to kind of bounce back from that. But I mean, obviously I did get hurt, but yeah, so I would say that there has definitely been obstacles, not to say the least, but no matter what, like that has come my way. Like I just know like I've always bounced back into like no matter what, like this is still gonna happen. Like I may be getting hit with like these financial issues or like my own physical toll that I took, mental toll that I took because getting a car accident is it does take like a mental toll on you. So I did have to like step back a little and it did take me probably like 6 months to actually like sit down and make a candle from like the moment that we had our podcast. But yeah, it has definitely been a journey, and I am glad that I haven't given up no matter. And it doesn't get easy. Like it's I still face obstacles. Like with this, the last shipment I got of my candles, I think like a few came cracked, and I mean, there's just little things like, but really doesn't really top everything that has accumulated. It's almost like, all right, like this is nothing at this point. Like we're
Mm.
still gonna keep going. Like it's we're still gonna get through this. Like it's all right.
Yes. Oh, I'm sitting here nodding because I'm in total agreement because there will always be challenges, like you say, and it's our mindset and our perspective on how we look at the challenges and the hurdles that we face. And you're continuing to say, this is important to me. This is going to happen. This is just another thing to get through. And like you said, you've been through tougher things than this. Like every time there's like, I say small issues, but every time there's like, smaller challenges, you can reflect and say, I've been through harder challenges than this. I can get through this as well. I can get through this.
Yeah.
And you're making progress. And it's just so wonderful to see that mindset that you've got. You've got the right head on your shoulders. You know what you're focusing on, and you're not giving up over things that other people might stop their journey at, which I think is so sad when I speak to other candle makers that have stopped their business, and again for a variety of reasons. But every single person has the potential, has the opportunity for success, however they define success with their candle business. And when you have the right mindset, or if at least you're working on having the right mindset, you can overcome those challenges. And so I'm so grateful that you have that mindset and that you're continuing to push through.
Thank you. Yes.
What's been the most exciting part of the journey for you so far?
I guess just seeing your like creativity come to life like that. Like your ideas come to life. Like that's the most exciting part, I would say. Definitely.
It's so nice to unlock that side of ourselves when perhaps we might not have thought of ourselves as creative in the past. Some of the conversations I've had with other candle makers is that they've said, I never thought I was creative until I started making candles. And then, suddenly I'm like, oh, I'm going to blend different fragrances and I'm going to make my own labels and I'm going to
Mhm.
make other products as well. And it unleashes this excitement and this joy of I can be creative and I can do this in so many different ways and have so much fun. And so I love that that's your experience as well. Like you're enjoying the creativity
Yeah.
side of it because it's like it's unlimited. Like the possibilities are endless for being creative, with a variety of
Mhm.
things. But when it comes to candles and candle making, there is just so much potential. And I love that that was your answer, that you're just so excited about the
Mhm.
creativity.
I also like informing people like when they don't know like the differences in different candle waxes or like how some are more safer than others. Like and when you start telling them they're like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna go and like get rid of my candles or like the ones that I have at home or like I didn't even know that. Like that's crazy. And I like that for sure. Well, it's
Mm.
informing people because you feel like you're doing something good at the same time. Like you're helping.
Yeah, definitely. Because there is such I guess, a lack of knowledge or awareness that there are different types of candle wax and there are different types of fragrance oil, like, essential versus synthetic. And when you start to have those conversations with people that aren't candle makers, that aren't in the candle making world, and say, this is what I've learned, this is what it's all about, these are all the different facts that I know, it almost just like blows their mind because I think I've never thought of that before. I never realized that there was so
Mhm.
much more to it than just a pretty candle sitting on a bench. Like there is there's a science to it. There's, you know, the calculations, the math that's involved. There's the testing. There's all the different facets of making candles. And for us as candle makers, like we just love it. We just love the process, and we love learning all about it and learning more. And it becomes this incredible journey of growth and discovery, and like personally and in our business, we're growing, and it's this beautiful collision of just so much love and so much passion for the craft. And when we can share that passion with others, it opens their eyes up to, okay, well, maybe I need to be a bit more aware of the type of products that I'm buying, and, you know, what's in this candle or what's in this product, where is it sourced from, is it the safest material for me and my family. And being a candle maker, I feel like we've got these responsibilities to educate our audience and educate our followers and customers, and you're doing that naturally, which is so important.
It kind of becomes your passion. So if you do it like without even realizing it.
Oh yeah, I mean, we could talk about candles all day, every day, us candle makers. But other people, like, you know, their eyes roll, or they think, oh, okay, talk about candles again. Like, that's why podcasts like this is so important, because it gives us a chance to really just talk about it and not feel like we both understand, you know, the joy that candle making brings, whereas other people, they don't get as excited as us.
And I had my experience where I went inside my first candle shop, and I felt like I was a kid in a candy shop. Like I was just like looking around like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. That I was asking so many questions. Like I was just so inspired, and it smelled amazing. The aesthetic, everything was just like, it was so amazing. And probably if I didn't make candles, I probably wouldn't have been that excited. I was just in awe when I was looking around.
It's so true. Like you feel like a kid at Christmas time when you get the opportunity to be immersed in like a candle shop or like a candle making environment, and it's so much fun. So I'm so glad that you're experiencing that passion and that joy and that excitement, because it's all part of it. Like it's what makes it all fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
So let's have a chat about the actual business side of things. So have we reached a stage where you are actually selling candles, or are we still in the testing phase? Talk to me about that.
No, I'm not selling candles. I have not. At the moment, just if anything, just giving away candles.
And what sort of feedback have you gotten from family and friends?
Oh, I've gotten great feedback, like nothing but, good things. So that was the issue though. Like as confident as everyone sounded, I can kind of guess tell how I knew that it was wrong. Speaking about the candle shop, I ended up buying a candle from that candle shop, and I hadn't purchased another candle, and I mean probably in like 2 years, a year and a half. And the only candles that I had were my candles. So I had no reference to go based off. So I didn't know that my peaks of my wicks were wrong until I compared it to a candle that was correct. And I was like, oh, this candle, this is what it's supposed to look like, but that's not what mine looks like. So once I noticed that, I just stopped. I was like, I'm not going to give these candles away anymore, because to me, it's just not safe. Like I can tell and how hot it was getting. So at the moment, I'm pretty much on pause because I don't have my wicks. Kind of sad. I wish I could, but I'm doing what I can, which, yeah.
Yeah, and that's all we can do. And when we run into supply issues, we basically do. We come to a halt because we can't make, we can't create, we can't test, and we can't move forward with their business. Now, in terms of social media, have you had to think about what you want to post as content, or does that feel a little bit too far away at this stage?
I feel like in the past I've gotten so excited, and like I would just go on social media and just like want to set everything up. But I think at the moment I'm just gonna put that on pause because I have an idea of how I want to do it. I'm definitely gonna go with Shopify, and I plan on taking like my photos and everything once I have my labels and everything done, and then just launching my website. That's how I see it happening for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, beautiful. It's funny, like some of the candle makers I speak to have been in business for, 2+ years, and they still don't have a website set up because they're selling at markets, or they're selling in person, or they're selling to family and friends.
Right.
So the emphasis on having a website, completed and perfect, and pictures all professional and all the things, like all those things will come in time. It's just a matter of working towards. And there's so many different aspects of business to consider, to learn about, to set up, to grow, that we can become overwhelmed with the amount of things
Yeah.
that are on the to-do list. And it's funny because if we were at the beginning of our journey, like you were a year ago, and if we knew just what was involved and how much like work and effort and time and resources was required, if we knew how much was there, we might not even start our journey. And I think that's kind of the
Mm.
beauty of just doing it step by step, piece by piece, is that we can, grow as we go and learn along the way, as opposed to, okay, I have to do everything all at once, and it becomes just so overwhelming. So even though your website's not quite there yet, it doesn't matter. Like, it will come in time and you will work towards it.
Yeah.
You'll learn how to, format the website and make it perfect. And you're not perfect, you know what I mean? But it'll be the best it can be.
Yeah.
And then it'll be even better the next time you evolve it. And it'll just become, there'll be iteration after iteration as you grow along the way. So
Yeah.
it's just so interesting capturing you where you are now, as opposed to a year ago, to see how you've grown and to see what you've experienced over the last 12 months. So yeah, everything will happen in time. It's just a matter of continuing to work towards it, which you are doing. There's nothing about you and what your dreams are that won't continue along the path. It's just a matter of, yeah, of just doing it and enjoying the process along the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, I'm patient. So I know what's meant for me will come in time. I'm not rushing anything at all, like, because I know it's going to happen. So I'm just content in knowing that it's going to happen and everything's going to fall in place when it's meant to be.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I'm still doing what I have to do as well, doing the work as well, like, because it's not cheap. I mean, I've already put a lot of money into this business. So, you know, continuing to work hard is going to mean more money for my business. So that's my focus when, production's on a pause. Okay, that just means I take more time for myself then. And because who knows when these 2 weeks come, or I'm going to be super busy. So I'm going to enjoy this time that I have for myself. You have to look at it, I guess, like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important to have perspective like that and to know that life ebbs and flows. There are different points in our business where we experience growth, and then there are times when it's a little bit slower and we can focus on that self-care for us, or we can focus on different aspects of the business if we want to learn about SEO or different, social media tactics, or, just different parts as opposed to the actual making of the candles. So it's nice that you've
Yeah.
got just the best perspective possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could have happened. It definitely could have happened. I had everything ready. I was cleaning my jars. I was about to wick them, and I was like, no, this is not right. I have to get the correct wick size. It's like, as much as I want to do, as excited as I am, like, nope, we're just gonna pause and we're just gonna come back to this.
And that's the thing, like, safety is always first, and you're making the right decision by pausing as opposed to just continuing with wicks that aren't right for the jars. So definitely made the right
Yeah.
decision to wait. It's just yeah, like I'm excited for you to get the wicks and to continue the
Oh,
making process. I just wish it was here now for you.
I know. And that's another thing. It's like I was even asked, like, why don't you just find new wigs? And it's like, 'cause I already spent so much. I went through wooden wigs. I went through currently using cotton wigs. So it's the performance cotton wigs. So those are the ones that I chose. So I guess a good idea would be to maybe find backup wigs just so that this doesn't happen again, or just have a plan B because yeah.
Yeah, it's important. Like, it is. I mean, this could happen again. There could be issues with not even just the wicks, but like the fragrance oils or the jars or the lids, could go out of stock. So maybe the whole purpose of this experience for you is to take that on board and to pivot and adapt and have, as you say, a backup. So that could be something that is important to do. I'd love to know, what are your, now that we're a year down the track in your journey, what are your goals now for your business?
Yeah, well, definitely need capital. So it's get through my first sellout. I guess we can get through that and then we can see where we can go from there. Like, but goals. So I do have products in mind. I definitely do have products. And I have been doing research, like looking into certain markets. So I guess one goal would definitely be to at least experience a market one time this year. That would be great if I could just experience it once. I'd be happy with one time because it is pretty expensive. So it's an investment, getting a spot. But that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be actually. And knowing that you can meet your customers and potential customers and have that in person interaction of here are my candles, smell them. What do you think? Get the feedback and just be in amongst the other stall holders. It's an experience like no other. And when I speak to candle makers that don't want to do markets, again, for a variety of reasons, part of me thinks, oh, but you've got to try it at least once just to give it a go, just to know that you've tried that aspect of your business or tried that aspect of selling your products in that way. So yes, I mean, we're recording this in March 2024, and there are still 9 months left of the year. My math, I think, is working.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm seeing nodding. So there's still much potential for that to happen. And particularly as we get closer to the end of each year, we have the busy period of people buying Christmas presents and gifts. So that's something to look forward to and work towards. If we can get your candles to a stage where they're safe, you feel happy and confident and comfortable with how they perform, you're happy with the labels, you've done your testing, all of the things, and that you're at the stage where you're ready to sell, get the website up, do the photography, all the things, then absolutely we can look at doing markets as well. So it's it's exciting. There's so much potential and growth and adventure ahead of you, and it's going to be just a wonderful year seeing how that develops.
For sure.
What's your favorite thing about what you do in terms of, is it making candles? Is it enjoying the testing phase? Tell me about what you love.
Well, right now would probably be designing the labels, because I think that's pretty, I guess I'm a creative person and I didn't know that I was as creative. So designing the labels, it's hard, but it's fun at the same time. Like getting it right when you print it, that's the hard part, but the designing part, that's the fun part. I feel like when I get there would probably be packing, like packaging it and shipping it out. I mean, who wouldn't be excited about shipping out your products, you know? That's probably going to be the fun, the exciting part for me. I'm looking forward to that.
It is so much fun. Like getting the order is so exciting. Like when the little ding goes off on your phone and you get
Oh,
the
I bet.
notification, you're just like, yes, I've sold a candle. Like someone's seen my website or they've seen my social media, they've fallen in love with the product and then they want to purchase it. Like they've fallen in love with the imagery and the description and the look of it. And then they purchase, and then you get to pack it up and wrap it in packaging that keeps it safe, and then pop it in a box. And that whole process is so much fun, and it just adds the next level of joy to the process. And then of course getting the feedback from your customers is always so nice too, because then if it's positive, that's great, it makes you feel good, and if it's constructive, that means you can learn from it. So when you sell your products and then get the feedback, it becomes this beautiful back and forth of, this is how I'm going to make my business even better.
Yeah.
What gives you motivation when things get tough? And you've had some tough
Yeah.
experiences over the last year. So why do you continue? Why don't you stop?
Oh, definitely my daughter. She's like my number one motivation for sure. I mean, the luxury that this business is going to create for me to, just be in charge of my schedule and not have to leave the house. I mean, that itself is, I'm good. That right there is luxury to me.
Oh yeah, having your own business and being able to do things on your own timeline and be able to support yourself in that way is just you can't compare it to anything else. It brings so much joy and so much satisfaction, so much pride, like being proud of yourself, knowing that you've built something from the ground up. And it doesn't matter how long it takes to get to that point. And some people they're not even aiming for that. But if you are aiming for that, it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there, because the journey is so worthwhile that once you reach that point where you can leave paid employment and support yourself and support your family, it's just it's just incredible. So
I don't know if I mentioned, but last time, but I do like gig work, so I deliver like for Amazon and like Walmart, etc. Like, so I'm driving a lot, and I mentioned that I was in a car accident. So I just driving, it's not something that I want to do long term forever. So that motivates me as well, because it's like I would much rather be at home with my daughter than, be driving. So that's the motivation. That's
yeah,
enough right there.
yeah, absolutely. And I can imagine it would have been really hard to have that experience of being in the accident, and then the recovery part of it is mentally, physically, emotionally challenging and draining. And And you can use that, as you say, like for motivation to go, okay, this is not what I want out of my life anymore. I want something more. I want something else. I want something different. And you're working towards that. And I think that that's so important, because not everyone will see it in that way, and not everyone will have the courage to try something new and to learn something new. Many people, not just candle makers, but many people will just accept their situations in life and go, this is just how it's going to be forever, and I just have to deal with it. And then they're not happy and they're not satisfied, they're not fulfilled, they don't have purpose. And that can be a really sad place to be. But you're using your challenges as motivation to get to the next level, to get to where you want to go. And I think that's very inspiring.
Thank you, for sure.
I'd love to know, and I think your answer, I think I know what you're going to say to this question, but I'd love to know, how do you define success?
Honestly, I don't think it's something like can be measured. I think it's just someone who's just determined and resilient. Like no matter what, you just keep going. Because I feel like some people may not say that I'm successful, but I feel pretty successful because I'm going after my passion. So I feel like what more success could I have? I feel pretty satisfied with that.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. And what a lovely way to end our podcast, in knowing that you already see yourself as successful, and anything more and anything extra that you work towards and have will be just, the cherry on top. So I love that. Sade, thank you so much for being on the podcast for the second time, for capturing where you are now as opposed to a year ago. And I'm so excited to hear and learn and see where your journey takes you next. Now, I know you've not got your website up just yet, but I know that you do have an Instagram account. Do you want to share that with the listeners so that they can follow you and follow your journey as well?
Yes, I will be more active, I promise. But you can follow me on Instagram at Hope Creations Candle Co.
Beautiful. So I'll pop your link in the show notes, and people can follow you and say hello and say that they've heard the podcast, and maybe listen to both podcasts, maybe even back to back, just to get that real sense of growth between the first episode and the second episode. But before we say goodbye, is there anything else you'd like to share with the listeners?
Just don't give up and just stay focused on your own journey. It can get so easy to get distracted by what's going on around you, but it does not matter what other people have going on. It does not matter. Just focus in on what you have going on and just trust in yourself and in your journey.
That's beautiful. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much. Like, because of you, I feel like I have grown so much, and I appreciate your podcast as well. Like, where else can we get the material that you provide us? Like, there aren't many out there. So thank you. I appreciate you as well.
Thank you. You're so kind. Thank you, my friend, for listening to this episode. Check out the show notes for all the links mentioned throughout the conversation, and please subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you're feeling inspired, I would love it if you would write a review for the podcast and give a 5-star rating. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful day.